Welcome, everyone. I am joined again by Satyen Raja. Today, we're talking about sexuality and the Enlightenment process. Welcome again, Satyen.
Thanks for having me. And this should prove to be juicy as well as inspiring and enlightening because, you know, sexuality is where we all come from. No wonder we have so much interest in it. And I know we're going to have a real fun dive today, so I'm looking forward to this.
Yes, and on our first show, we had such a fun process of talking. You know, afterwards, we're like, what is the next layer we could really help people about? And let people know about your background and may have not heard of you before, how this topic relates to you.
I lead an organization called Warrior Sage Trainings, and my wife Suzanne and I, especially in relationship to this topic, sexuality, we've been in a relationship for 30 years now. We started as high school friends and became lovers and really close after high school. And she was really a woman who gave all her devotion to me and my purpose and my mission, and mine to her purpose and mission. And you know, we've gone through all types of experiences as any couple would go through, and we've learned through the years and have absorbed many different philosophies in the realm of sacred relationship, evolutionary relationship, or in India, as they call it, tantra, the ideal of a divine relationship. And we've learned from really our errors, the crap within our own selves. And we've also learned from the wisdom of really working at it for all these years. And so we've been giving seminars, trainings, coaching to celebrities, people of high influence, international CEOs. We've given trainings to tens of thousands of students in the realm of sacred sexuality and sacred relationship. And so what I'm going to be sharing today comes from really my experience of coaching many, many people, as well as living this in my own personal life. And we're going to be, this is really about serving you guys. How can we really inspire and awaken and bring your relationship to a space of total divine enlightenment? So I want everyone who's here to just pull off all masks, everyone who's listening to drop all facades, because this is a hot topic and I want to go deep. I want to go hot. I want to go to the places where are difficult to speak about and bring some illumination, some awakening, and then really use this topic to catapult our erotic potential, our erotic divine side within us, you know, which is really juicy.
When we had our first interview, both you and I afterwards said, you know, that's something special. And then when it went off to play and we had an opportunity to watch it while it was playing, we saw a unique way of constructing and seeing the construct. And when you and I come together and we bring these subject matters, we're bringing our points of view to expand and explore, to be consciousness explorers in the realm of sexuality and the Enlightenment process. Now, let's talk about the 3 stages of intimacy and the relationships.
Well, we've discovered, for simplicity's sake, 3 stages of mindset, maturity, emotional wherewithal, capacity, as well as degrees of wisdom, degrees of enlightenment. And the first stage is when we are very much in a me moment. And it's good to be in a me moment, to look out for oneself, to look out for one's boundaries, to know what you want, when you want it, how you want it, all of that. But it can get to the point of selfishness, and selfishness doesn't work in a relationship. The point of being with someone in a relationship is to enjoy the beauty that has, the ecstasy of that polarity of being with someone intimately. But the challenge is that we've got all our ego, we have our possessiveness, we have our ways the right way, we've got our imprints that come from our family of origin around what is fathering, what is mothering, how should I be a lover, how should I? And plus we've got vast fields of emptiness, of ignorance around the whole realm of relationship, because there's not too many enlightened role models, you know?
And taboos here also.
right? So when we're in the first stage, it means that we are wanting something from our partner that they're not giving us, and we're upset, we're pissed off, we're irritable, we're cranky, we go hostile on them, or we go repressed on them and don't tell them. We hurt them by the removal of our presence and our love from them. Okay, you don't love me? Well, I'll just be in my own. All of that. So when we're not getting something that we want deeply, and it's not being nourished and served in us, and we're in a reactive space, and we go back to the default of how we're conditioned to respond when we're not getting the love, the contact, the connection, the freedom that we really want, then we go into a first stage moment of contraction. We think we're just a me, an isolated me. We build up walls, and then we're fighting each other, and then it just builds more fire and more fire. So that's a first stage moment of any experience. And it goes from mild to really dug in, painful abuse. Worst form of it is abusing a partner physically, verbally, emotionally. That's where you don't care for them at all, and you only want to hurt them. Or you want to, you just are only so much inside yourself. So we grow through that. Those who are here with us, obviously we know the downfall, the detriment of being in that type of closed state of being. So we have the intention, we endeavor to widen, to expand, to be more human, to be more loving, more embracing, right?
And in that embracing of life, we learn that when intimacy comes, that the embrace is topical, as well as dermal, chemical, and then spiritual. What brings us all together as conscious beings is another side of one of the teachings that both you and I have, is understanding that there's a consciousness here. And in this revolution of minds that we're going through, sexuality has taboos and areas yet explored.
Exactly. So that's, we were sharing about the first stage moment when we're closed into ourselves. There's also generational times that demonstrate that. Like, you look at my parents' generation, and actually most of the world is very patriarchal, very what the man says goes. It's like he's in rule, and the woman is supposed to be subservient. So that's a first stage society where it's fixated in old patterns, which are hand-me-downs from, for many reasons it's like that. We all know about that. The main reason we know is because of this domination over the feminine spirit, and not seeing the equality, and not feeling and embracing that femininity within oneself, or somehow seeing that femininity is weak or suppressed. And it has been on multiple levels of being.
Yeah.
And
It's only been 70 years since the rape laws were changed, only been 70 years really since any form of the women's suffrage movement created prohibition, created any momentum for women to even be present in politics. 70 years, that's all we're out of that. Most rape laws here in the United States, as an actual crime, weren't created until the 50s. The same time that cultural reform was going with the racial issues. So those are your examples of the generations. Like the Roaring 30s is the final generation of the clans and the tribes and the corruption.
So it's like this, we had to change. We had to start to grow up. And even though it's only a few of us, let's say in the Western world, most of the world, unfortunately, is still very mired in that first. But we have to start somewhere. And so we are moving. There is progress. And that's where the second stage comes in. That's where it's like, okay, I want to hear your point of view, but I need you to respect my point of view. Both points of view are respectable. So you go from a culture of my way is right, might is right, to equanimity, fairness, my bank account, your bank account, in terms of a relationship.
All sharing a common moral code. Whatever translation is, it's still a common moral code. Yeah.
Exactly. And this is an evolution, a great step from this more archaic way of being. and society and way of relating with partners, where, you look at in the first stage, men were allowed to do certain things and were expected to be the adventurers and were in fixed roles, and women were only allowed to, if they were allowed to work, only very limited, be this or be that, and don't venture out of that, So we've grown. The feminist movement was really about reclaiming this power of directionality, the power to choose my own direction, my own autonomy, my own choices, to pursue my own interest, not just what my husband or society or my family tells me to do, but to have my own freedom, my own joy to pursue, my own interests, my own business. Lord, believe it, that I can have my own work and I don't need you. No longer underneath your thumb. I'm no longer subject to just your rules. We can co-create them. So this is the pinnacle of the second stage, where women have reclaimed their power. They know who they are. They've grown much more healthy boundaries in the sense that they won't allow themselves to be pushed around. And many working women now are second stage masters, meaning they could probably do things much better than the men around them. They've learned how to do and be in a masculine dominated oriented world, which is about direction, attainment, goals, the achievement of goals, breaking from a prior constriction into a new freedom. That's the masculine bliss within us, to break free from some illusion, some restriction, some chains over us. And when we break through, it could be a basketball going through a hoop, it could be a ball passing, it could be a puck passing a line. There's exhilaration, right? There's like a break free. All this restriction, teams trying to keep you from getting to your end goal, and then you somehow make it through all the obstacles and through the end goal, and then it's like a male orgasm. Like build up, and then.
Yeah, because there's this long train of energy that it took to get there, that in its own way is us moving forward through time and allowing us men as men to fully encompass that stream that at the end, like a fuse, fireworks.
Exactly. So the second stage man would be, let's say as an example, would be one who realizes I don't want to be like my fathers or the previous generations of very stiff and rigid, non-emotional, emotionally vacant men. I want to get in touch with my emotions. I want to feel what's around me, grow my hair, listen to music, enjoy more feminine, enjoy not just going somewhere, but enjoying the grass and dancing and playing and drumming and community and communing with nature and all these good things about really what developing the feminine within one does. It helps to balance out the great imbalance that's been happening for thousands of years, and perhaps much longer from your experience.
I would say millions of years, because we're still limited to just male and female here. And there are plenty of people who've had their own visionary experience of other places and other times where it just wasn't male and female. There are other options out there. And just as consciousness explorers, giving that a contemplation a couple times a year can greatly advance your way of just seeing another point of view. For we have been both sexes, and sometimes simultaneous. There are those things that do exist in this world. And what are they? Different avenues and areas for a consciousness to come in and have a specific experience through a body that's the instrument of reception.
Yes.
Okay?
Exactly.
And when two instruments of perception come together, they create a uniperception. That is the potential of an offspring.
Yes.
That's the beauty of procreation, yes.
Look, this leads into what I'm going to be sharing about next. So you have the second stage, let's say, woman who's grown from being codependent to independent. A second stage man, let's say as an example, in a heterosexual relationship. Mm-hmm. This same dynamic works for a gay relationship, mm-hmm. any form of relationship, because in any relationship, one partner tends to hold more of the masculine pole of directionality, breaking into freedom, enjoying freedom as a higher value, mm-hmm. or as the highest value.
Or servicer. Yeah.
And we tend to attract someone who has the reciprocal pole in relationship. So if we're a first stage person and we're like egotistic and we've got set ways, well, we'll attract someone who gives us that reflection. Sorry, you may not like it, but there's a resonance field that pulls us into that vibration where we're working through our karmas, our life lessons, our potentialities for greater awakening, which is what the third stage is about. Is this couple gets together, autonomous, independent, let's say woman, autonomous, independent man. He's flowing with life, enjoying spirit, enjoying feeling and going with what feels right. She's very directed, knows what she wants, where she's going, right? And all these things. But after a while, when you balance out, the unfortunate thing is when you balance out your masculine, feminine within you, which was needed in response to a very imbalanced, as you said, millions of years of this masculine or male domination in
Force
some way.
duality.
Force duality.
Because
yes.
what is our dreaming world? It's our other side and unlimited. You're both male and female. That's why dreams can be so much more rich.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So when you're together for that long and you're neutral, let's say within much more, or balanced, the polarity, the juiciness, the sexiness, the rip the clothes apart, I love you, it starts to fade away, diminishes, because the arc of sexual attraction is now neutral. And becoming more neutral, we wonder, you may still have love and a feeling of oneness and care and respect, but the feeling of the sizzle of seeing them, the feeling of that tickle, genital tickle, the feeling of that horniness, the feeling of that, wow, I want to evolve with them. I want to go to new heights of being. I want to adventure through this world, through the cosmos, through consciousness, even wider and greater with a beloved. That starts to fade away. And when that starts to fade away, because of the neutralness, we have what we call the stagnation that happens. At first, going from first stage to second stage is a win. It's an evolutionary leap. It's a growth curve. But when you're there after a while, you stagnate. And those who are really ready and they see, you know what, there's a flatness in my relationship. Or I'm attracting, let's say if it's a woman or a more feminine person, I'm attracting people who are, the dynamics are very similar, although the faces may change. They're non-committal. They don't know what they want, where they're going. They don't have a claim in their life. They're lacking a direction. They're sort of looking for me for emotional support. I don't feel I could lean into them as much as they need me. Like these type of feelings. And the reciprocal of that is feeling like, from the masculine side, like I can't find someone who can just surrender with me sexually, cut loose, go wild with me, get deeper, just make me feel more alive and more free. There's always some demand of me to do better or be somebody, or it feels like just being around, I'm getting my balls cut off, or that type of, right? Yeah. So that's, if you're in those spaces, that means it's not a problem. That means you've used up the evolutionary life force that was inherent in the second stage. You've used up that gas tank. It was great. It got filled when you went from ego, fully ego, 100% ego, to more sharing, caring, equality, 50-50 relationship, honoring, valuing. But now your soul's on fire and it looks like your relationship is fizzling away or dying or already has died. And what I'm here to share is it's not a problem. This is your soul going, okay, if you still want to be in a relationship, you still want relationship, you still yearn for that, whether it's with self, whether it's with existence, the divine, the goddess, the God, or one in actual form, or two or three, or a community, then this is the time to use this, to breathe in the suffering, to allow yourself to feel what sucks and what's shallow and what's numb and what's dead in relationship, and not walk away. Because when we do, if you walk away, more suffering. If you face it, then
Exactly.
we're going to go into the third stage.
For men, it's learning to be empathetic, and to truly feel their environment. In a lot of feminine minds, it's innate. Now, because of force duality, each life you got to choose male, female, male, female, male, female, and the dichotomies of the two through the generational changes, you get a mass amount of experience that directly influence our picker, who we're going to choose. And when we're reaching this end stage, like you're saying, you've used up that gas tank, that's that life force that's put there, we have to reach into our co-creative selves and say, is my relationship singular, monocular, multidimensional, or have I not figured it out yet? And many people are in this doubt, haven't figured out stage.
This is perfect, because what you're sharing is, we have to ask this ourselves right now. Okay, what is my highest vision of relationship? Highest. What is my highest intent? Now, my wife and I, Suzanne, we did this years ago when we were studying with one of our great mentors, David Data, who gave us the groundwork, the foundation of these philosophies, which we implemented into our relationship, and it just flowered. But what was, on the outside, the sex was great, amazing. The romance was rekindled and went to a whole other level, but the trust in each other.
Trust.
Right?
Empathetic trust. Psychic empathetic trust. Shared dreaming. That is something that everyone throughout hundreds of lifetimes, that's when they know they could connect to a person in a future lifetime. Because you could share dreams regularly. And not just from orgasmic overload, it's the totality of time that you spend together.
Exactly. So in the first stage, you get together because of hormones just being turned on, convenience, fear. There won't be anyone else except that person, right? Whatever, right? So it's done from fear, reaction, and imprinting. The second stage is done for the sake of independence, self-choice. So you choose because, hey, we enjoy going to the movies together. We enjoy reading these materials together. There's a convenience and there's a goodness in being together. Our lives will be elevated. You both want children. You both don't want children, whatever it is. There's congruencies. You agree upon them, and then you go to life and you enjoy life as two good friends.
Right. Capable of creating chemistry.
Exactly. Now, in the third stage, when being just friends is not, when you've hit the edge of that, it's okay, what's next? For me, it's what I call awakened intimacy. That's where your intimacy, you say, my beloved, I'm here, my heart, my being, my soul, my life. I'm here in devotion to your enlightenment. I'm in devotion to your highest vision of life. I bring my forces of being, whatever my context, my knowledge, my inspiration, my hug, if you just need a hug, my lifting you up when you hit the ground, my yelling at you when I think you're off purpose and floundering, and my tears of celebration and my tears of sadness if I see you off track from your mission. I'm here to be a vessel of devotion. Now, it's a heart offering, a body offering, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual offering of yourself for your partner, because you see them as who not just brought together, but you are choosing them to grow with, to evolve with. Now, this doesn't work if it's only one way.
Right.
It has to be
equal co-creation.
Co-creation, co-creative offering of devotion. And then
cyclical.
Yeah,
it's got to be repeated. You got to repeat it. That's the endurance of relationship. And
Yes.
what the cool thing about endurance relationship, you find out right away if you can do it or not. 'Cause if it's a 10K race or it's a 9K race or an unlimited race. And then when it's unlimited, it's not really a race anymore. It's just a way of being. And who
I
you share
love
your way
that.
of beingness with.
I love that. That's a very powerful piece. That if you see them not just as like a 5K, 10K, 5-year, 10-year, 20-year, one lifetime, but
Unlimited.
what if eternal devotees to each other's enlightenment?
And I know that this exists because you see this throughout God-based histories throughout all indigenous cultures. It has passed down. And there are times where conscious beings, both male and female, can come together and create cyclical rituals of experience in sacred spaces that can create mystical experiences on a repeatable basis for everyone for the purpose of fertility.
Absolutely. You know, many of us are drawn to this yoga of two. There's some of us who are drawn only to the yoga of enlightenment through the self, in the self. But there's some of us that just, no matter how much we try to let go of the idea of relationship, our heart, our being still yearns and pangs for it. In the philosophy of Tantra, or Tantra, different pronunciations, the idea is that you are creating this evolutionary, enlightening relationship where you're evoking each other's subtle energies, erotic energies. You're evoking the mammalian desire to merge and to sex and to have the ravishment of each other, to ravish each other, not just lightly through gentleness, but to have a whole spectrum of lovemaking. But as you said, in a way that opens our portals, that gives us more energy, that doesn't deplete us post-orgasm, but that magnifies our orgasmic energy and makes us become even more influential, more powerful, more peaceful in the world.
Mastering charisma becomes very easy for both sides of the relationship when those mystical sexual shared experiences that go beyond the dream, beyond the physical chemistry of bonding, and no matter how far away, you can still sense and feel the empathy.
Yes. And this is the key, the how-to. How do we go from first, second, and third stage? The how-to is empathy, is feeling, softening the front surface. Practically how I do this with Suzanne is I soften the front surface of my body before I meet her during the day. I soften, and then I feel what's it like to be inside of her heart, in her body that day. It fluctuates moment to moment. What's it like to live in her body, to live in her heart, live in her history? I aim to feel as if I'm living inside of her. And that, it's a subtle type of cultivation. It's a tantric cultivation where I'm feeling with my subtle body, feeling within my lover's subtle body as if I'm looking out from their eyes, looking out, feeling the temperature of their body, the distribution of their tension, where it is. And wherever they are tight, they're not breathing fully, they have some constriction. My practice as a tantric is to feel that in my lover and expand. Let's say she's tight in the lungs, breathe my lungs deeper than she could breathe herself. And after a while, there's a synchronous breathing that happens because I'm already in her, breathing her deeper than she could breathe herself.
Yeah.
And through that wave,
And that
magnificent
that entrainment process of the co-consciousness is there. And that is an earned and learned trust process that you created through many years of relationship. The mechanics of what you're teaching is what does it take to endure that for 1 month, 1 year, so on. So when you start in it with the depth of infinity and both try, okay, you may come down to a limitation here though, but you're at least trying.
you will come to a limitation. You have to start off what I've discovered is with a lofty intention to have enlightenment, to have co-creative bliss, co-creative bodily bliss, co-creative bodily, mental, emotional, spiritual bliss in your lovemaking, in how you support each other throughout the day. And if you're doing it right, you're going to fall on your face, especially when you're starting out. Especially when you're starting out, you're going to fall on your face, because every time you come up against, she's acting in a way that reminds you of her mother-in-law or your father, or in some way that upsets you, pisses you off. All this loftiness of, I'm here to devote myself to your enlightenment, to your upliftment, to your well-being, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that all gets like, you can't think of that in the moment. That's where training, that's where cultivation, that's where the discipline of the warrior comes in, and the love of the sage within ourselves comes in, where we say, listen, yes, I could go down the route of my own reactivity and live the way I'm used to living, which is whatever imprints I've got, whatever habits I've got. Or I can let go of my position for a moment, recalibrate myself, and open and soften the front surface and face my love again. So, I was really pissed off like a minute ago. I'm here to try this again. Let's try this again, beloved. Okay, what do you want me to understand? I have something I'm missing here. What do you want me to understand about you that I'm not getting? That is the most powerful way that I've discovered with my wife, is to just slow down, soften the front surface of the body, get in etheric, subtle body contact, feel them. Could be over the phone. Feel as if you're living them. Yeah. And then say, what do I need to understand about you that I'm not getting? What do I need to understand even more? Tell me about, what do you want me to understand about yourself that I need to really get? And that portal opens the door to the third stage in times of crisis and challenge.
And it's when the times of crisis or challenge, it tells us how deep our well of energy and life force is. It's no longer a 5K, a 10K race. It's an unlimited race and beyond. For some loves will do whatever it takes to get their other love to the next level, or in a life and death scenario, to get them back to living again.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the true human consciousness potential stage, that if we take out the framework of the death or doing it for others or doing it for the self, and we understand the singular mechanics of activating the consciousness to be in depth of character, in empathy, in its presence now, with its faith in all of its expression, and an energy body manifested now, making choices and choices and choices that begin to build a construct of a relationship. And that construct is an equal co-creation. Everyone's building bricks in it. And if it's built on low quality bricks in the beginning, it caves in when you put weight on top of it. And weight is that density of love. And so many people get, let's just say, a misunderstanding between the chemical love in the first stage and the real love in the second and the third stage. And then whatever stages are beyond that is your exploration that is meant for that relation of that time.
In this third stage ideal of co-creation, co-evolution, yearning and aiming and uplifting your partner and receiving that as well from them, the light and the shadow, and saying, I love you no matter what, and we're going to grow through this together. And in times of positivity and beauty, and there is no stuff going on, using those juicy times to direct one's disciplines into what is our mission together. Who are we here to serve? How can we serve the world? How can we serve the galaxy? How can we serve God, the divine, the goddess, the earth? How can we serve humanity? Even greater with our combined joy, our combined power of love, our combined co-creative empathy, our co-creative joy, and our resources brought together. You're really good at directing and accounting and making sure crossing all the T's and dotting the I's. You're really good at the creative and making art and speaking to people and all. Let's not me have to learn all of the things that you're really good at, and vice versa, and let's combine and create something even more magnificent than just us as individuals. This is the pinnacle of the third stage, is where it's great as individuals coming together now as one. And you say to yourself, what if we were one? What if we live as if we are one? And that when you're hurt, you're angry, that your feminine is actually like, the way I look at Suzanne, I see my heart as a masculine and feminine sides within them. I feel my feminine side is actually her.
Mm-hmm.
Her.
Completing your yin and your yang.
Suzanne is actually inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what happens to my empathy? It goes way up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it is, oh, this is my feminine. My feminine is my beloved. And she sees her masculine as me. So part of me is in her. Mm-hmm. Part of her is in me, like a yin-yang symbol. It's not absolute. The essence of each one is in the other.
And that is the co-creation of a consciousness that's in co-lucidity, where you're able to have separate dream worlds and simultaneous dream worlds, manifest, unmanifest, seen, unseen. It's the unlimited potential between the two of you that has children that are another consciousness that has come into your co-lucid construct, which grows and grows and grows.
I would have a totally different destiny if I wasn't with Suzanne for 30 years. It's all that you just shared, brother, is I've been blessed to enjoy firsthand and, in my life. Mm-hmm. And I have to say that it's a boon. It's a gift. It's like the goddess is the doorway to a higher freedom than just going around and having sex with 100 women without too much emotional connection, or just in a using type of way, or just to get my own sexual needs fulfilled. That's fine. I don't want to judge people if as long as they're not doing harm to other people. But there's a power of freedom which comes through commitment, which can't be, you can't even know that or realize it. You can maybe scoff or joke at it, but you can only realize it when you're in deep in it and you realize there's a divine dimension of freedom in knowing that you can let total your walls down with someone that you have created such enduring, long-lasting trust, where you can fall apart. You don't have to be the hero and display heroics. You can become all of it, the dark and the light. And it's someone that you can also express and unveil the fullest expression of your multi-dimensional divinity. Who can you do that with? It's hard to do that with everyone. Some people may think you're weird and crazy if you show up to work as God.
Which has happened many times. God, Jesus, all his other cousins and aunties.
But in divine lovemaking, in Tantra, you can actually make, and in lovemaking, you can do a ceremony where you become a deity for each other. Mm-hmm. And service. You treat each other as a magnified deity of what deities to you represent the highest, and you become those.
Yes. So envisioning that as a co-lucid construct, okay?
Yes.
Meaning your dream worlds are a part of it. So your unseen world is filling in all the paperwork to make sure that that reality manifestation is mystical. So all you have to do is empathize enough so the mystical is beyond the chemical flow. This is where lovers share superluminal thinking, telepathy, yes, and beyond.
Shall we take, shall we do a co-creative
sure,
experience, take people in for a few moments, and sure, then we'll leave them with that for a few minutes and
okay,
then come back. All right. So let's have everyone take a few deep breaths with open, spacious hearts and the willingness to dive in with openness and with some fun here. And close your eyes, and whether your lover is there in front of you, beside you, a future lover, a potential lover, or one already in your life, bring them in front of you. Call them in into your heart space. And feel them sitting right there in front of you. And if you're a single person and you wish to attract someone who meets the depth of your heart's longing, call them in. You may not know what they look like, but feel their presence in front of you. Those of you who have a lover, no matter what state of relationship, whether it's mild, medium, or wild, bring them in front of you, even if it's stressed. And soften the front surface of your body. Soften your eyes, your nose, your jaw, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your belly. And breathe your partner in as if they are an etheric cloud, an energy cloud being. And when you breathe them into you, filling yourself up with them. And you feel them doing the same with you. So with every breath, you're merging. Feeling, what's it like to live in their history? To have their body? What's it like to have their parents, their siblings? Cultivating this empathic feeling dimension, like a Tai Chi master would feel out from the center of their being, the aura around them, or a sailor would feel, or a musician feels the audience, or a dancer feels the space around them and the energy in their body. Let your feeling dimension expand and include the subtlety of your lover, your partner, as you continue to breathe deeply. And see the parts in them that perhaps you have tension with. If it's a lover that you have not yet met, perhaps see within them any potential troubles that may come, that you're scared of. Again, that they walk out on you, that they're shallow, that they possess some character trait that you don't like. Feel the resistance of that. Yet rather than turn away, feel the resistance in them. What goes on in them when they're portraying that energy? And in your body, in your spirit, in your energy field, expand that area so it opens in you and them simultaneously. So you are breathing their darkness and breathing their contracture wider than they could breathe themselves, because they're in it. And do this until you're totally free. And that you fill the whole room with who you are. And let your heart body shine. Let your heart shine like a brilliant light through your body outward in all directions. And in your own being, it could be with your own hands physically or just your subtle hands and your intention. Give your lover a bow, your partner a bow, present or future, or past if it may be so, of honoring them as a divine being that you've had this evolutionary journey with, or will. And now see within them the infinity within them that's beyond human. If it's a feminine person, see the part in them that has always already been light. Always already been light. And honor that. Infinite light. Honor and see them as infinite light. If they're more of a masculine person, See and feel in them the part that has been and always has been infinite freedom, infinite space, infinite void, edgeless void. And honor that. The part in them that has always already been free, always already been light. And devote yourself and show and demonstrate an act of devotion that you're there to help and expand this freedom and light so that it comes fully embodied in their life, in their three-dimensional life. That their infinity be awakened, enlivened, nurtured, sexed, teased, enticed, winked at, loved, pinched, slapped, bitten, open into ecstatic realization that you and they are already light and are already freedom, are already edgeless, and you are the manifestation of the duality of ecstasy and oneness. And allow yourself now to merge and melt with the infinite light that they are, the infinite freedom that they are, by expressing and releasing and magnifying the infinite light and infinite freedom you are. And breathe this. Let your body move ecstatically. If your body wants to move in any way as this is happening, let it. Let your whole body be a devotional prayer to your beloved. And rejoice and celebrate. Allow your vision to be sexual, sensual, erotic, playful, respectful, wild. Color it and flavor your flair of relating with any way that you wish. But don't hold back. Let yourself have it all in this realm. You're fertilizing right now the womb of your relationship with this energy, with this intention. With this devotional, ecstatic prayer. If you wish, you can self-pleasure yourself with subtle energy, through breath, through touching, and continue this prayer as a sacred devotion to yourself, your loved one, and for the sake of all beings.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Let's talk about creating passionate, bonded relationships. With the meditation process and the learning that we've just gone through, now we can get to some of the true fundamentals.
Whew. Passion. How do we create passion? Well, passion is when there's a strong arc of polarity or energy or spark or fuel between two strong poles. That's why a plug has, two strong poles. So your battery to start the car is two strong poles. If the battery is weak, there's not enough juice to create the spark, same as in a relationship. So you're going to have a very strong masculine spark and a very strong feminine spark to create passion. Now, I never said male, 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 female, female. I didn't say any type of thing. These are energies that are within all of us. All sexual styles, all sexual preferences, all sexual orientations. So when I'm talking about masculine, feminine, I'm saying masculine within us is the part of us that's identified with the void, emptiness, the witness, or the pure consciousness that is aware of the changing, ever-changing reality. And this consciousness is the same that was there when you were young, this age, past life, next life. It's the infinite self, if you will. And it's unchanging, ever unchanging. Yet the feminine side is that which is always changing, always. It's the realm of the temporal existence, matter, energy, space, time, all the laws that govern all of that. We're down to earth, it's all the senses, taste, touch, smell, textures. Those were more feminine identified by birth, by natural birth. And I'm sure you'll share about how that happens. Those who become identified more so with more of the feminine side, let's say my wife, who is 70% feminine by birth, by natural inclination, by intention, for her, she can see the spectrum of colors and identify them, whereas for me, I would say, oh, that's green or gray. She's like, well, that's not gray, it's this, and this. She can display the subtlety and she can move things around in a space and beautify a space with flowers and ornaments and decorations and saris and clothing and just her artistry in beautification, her artistry in connection. She can warm people like in moments, that flow of love and connection, right? This is the feminine. The masculine is that removal from the world of duality, from the world of emotional embroilment. It's a type of detachment, as the Buddha talked about, which is more of a masculine path, because it's focusing on the removal of this infinite self from the quagmire of the stuff, so you have less importance on it. You're more detached. When we are polarized in these strongly with a lover, then it makes for profound passion. Two masculines, blah, you'll have repulsion. It's like taking two magnetic north poles, getting them close together, you'll have repulsion. Yeah. Two south poles, you'll have repulsion. But very strong north, very strong south, whoop,
get right together. The beauty of the beauty of what you're saying here is the consciousness of the masculine is the exploring side of what it takes for a soul, which is a being of light, who began as a fetus, who grew up, went through the forgetting, and is now remembering their potentiality, masculinity. And whereas femininity is enjoy the scenic route that you're gonna get until you get up to that highest point where you're ready to blossom into that masculinity energy.
Exactly. So we have it all, but we attract our reciprocals. So pragmatically, I'm 70% more masculine identified, which means, for me, the value of freedom is freedom for myself, my family, freedom for the world, freedom from the mind, freedom from ego, freedom from oppression. These things are to help people attain more life freedom, to enjoy greater relationships, to enjoy greater power, greater life experiences, travel, play, joy. To help people live their life of their dream is my joy, to have them have freedom. Yet, I also have a feminine heart which loves also that love is happening. So if I count how many movies through a year, and everyone can do this at home to see where they fit in this scale, more of my movies have to do with overcoming challenge, action, thrillers, overcoming an obstacle, sport, there's a mountain or someone's trapped or few men against a whole army, those more masculine oriented about winning movies. Yet I love feminine movies of love and connection as well. But at the end of a year, I'm watching about 7 of them are more of the masculine oriented, 3 are more of the feminine oriented. I love them both equally. It's just in terms of my predisposition, you see?
Right. And then there's that fine line of comedy to actuality, where both masculine and femininity have an opportunity to use comedy to take a whole new level of sensuality experience through comedy, because laughter is the great modifier of all life force.
Exactly. So in essence, passion equals polarity. When when you've been together and you haven't sparked each other up, and it's like two North Poles. What do you want to do? Or the two South Poles. No one's making a decision. Let's say, what do you want to do today? I don't know. I don't know. What do you want to go for dinner? I don't know. What do you want to do? You want to go for a walk? I don't know. No one makes a decision, so there's no polarity to spark. But if one lover said, hey, gorgeous, 7 o'clock, Friday night, 7 p.m., we're something black. I've taken care of the kids. You got nothing to worry about. Be ready. It's like,
yeah, it's taking away the thinking of it. Yeah, it's already completed.
That's the masculine energy going, let's make a direction in where there's no direction. But let's do it not from gregarious macho-ness, but from loving sensitivity and empathy and seeing what would uplift the moment, my beloved, not just uplift me, what would uplift us? And that's a whole different where to come from to activate your masculinity. A lot of people have atrophied or denied it or seen it as negative, and it is negative when it's without the heart.
So when a man is in that heart space and is then setting the space, or oftentimes it's the feminine that's setting the space, before she's even arrival, her empathetic side is going to feel the value of the preservation and the preparation of the space the male is creating. It is not just the ambiance, but the energy space that they come into to let down. This is that sacred feeling that bonded relationships can create, where it's a ritual of expression, a ritual of painting the energy in the room, a ceremony of bliss that leads to the next level of what is right for the moment without forcing one or the other, unless that is the fullness of the expression for what is needed for one side to come into true charge and polarity, expressing, creating not chaos, but full potentiality.
Exactly. You know, there's antagonistic polarity. That's where you're two North Poles, two masculine poles. We're going to go this way. No, we're not. We're going to do this. No, we're not. We're going to bumping heads because no one is surrendering. No one is claiming. You both are either claiming a direction or you both are surrendering. And it's sort of wishy-washy. But when one claims and one surrenders, it doesn't matter who it is, male, female, forget any type of outdated, antiquated roles. It's not anyone. It's whoever in the moment is the artful holder of one of those energies with more empowerment than the other. So, shall we dive deeper into the polarization? Yes. How to create it?
The law of attraction and repulsion is subtly at play here in everyone's mind that is going, what is in this game seen and unseen here?
Yes. Okay, here's what's unseen is these three vital masculine energetics and three vital feminine energetics that work together. There's a triad. They're like gears. And when these triads are dialed in with each other, bam, it's like a spark of evolutionary, juicy, sexy, heart-filled relationship. Really. So, masculine. How do we ramp ourself up? The masculine side within us. Three components. And I call it the PCP muscle, okay? The PCP muscle, okay? Presence, claim, and penetration. Presence is being there fully with your lover. So when I come back home from work, or I may be distracted, I may be tired, stuff may have gone on throughout my day, I take a moment to clear myself out, an hour to be by myself, go for a shower, go for a walk in nature, meditate, do a practice, whatever just gets you to flush off the residue of the day. You know, you don't need your lover to have to walk into that. They don't need that.
Right.
Yeah, right? Take responsibility to cleanse that first, then comes to your lover, right? So then in the moment when you see them, give them your presence as if you are the most important thing.
You've made your space sacred so that when they're ready to make their space sacred, the two bubbles of reality are in their own essence a one singular sacred space of co-creation.
A lot of women share with me, they say that they find men who are present so sexy because they're used to like all types of distraction around them, right? But when someone is right there and the whole room dissolves for them.
Yeah.
So presence is this, you know, martial artists have to cultivate it. Your presence, I mean, you go across millennia and lifetimes in infinite reality. So you're like presence in an omnipresent way. But that type of presence is what women find sexy, other men find trustable. Someone who's not present, who's shifty, biting their nails, a little skittish. You can't trust them in a transaction.
The process you were talking about when women are getting attracted to a presence man, it is because their brain and their spinal column and their cranial sacral pulse, all of that does them is being illuminated by the man's third eye that's connecting. And so many women just see the eyes, what the eyes are processing, the body language, but aren't seeing the center of the third eye with the focus and the voice and the, not practice behind it, but presence of voice and space within that.
Yeah. Presence is one part of the PCP muscle. The next part that's very sexy and evokes passion in your partner is claim. What do you stand for? Who are you? What won't you stand for? You know, what is your mission, your purpose? Who do you love? And claim when you have a lover and it's like, beloved, I'm with you. I'm behind you. I'm beside you. I'm in front of you. We're going that way together. Yeah. It's very sexy. But if it's like, I don't know, there's no claim. If you don't have a mission, a purpose, you feel that you're out of source with what you're meant to do in the world, you're lacking claim, and that's going to show up in your relationship. Because then your partner has to take that part up and become the claim where you're not becoming that. What you've rescinded, they got to pick up. And if you wonder why they're heavy-handed, directive, demanding, it's because you're not doing that of yourself.
What I call this stage is precognitive empathy. Both sides have access to their psychic skills to know what will be wrong at an empathetic level in a cyclical repetition basis. Because we are repetition-based beings, sometimes repetition with no illumination, and that's what the other side sees. Hey, we're positive, positive, negative, positive, positive. Something happens there, and there's a repeating process in the waveform that's your light that is not earning and learning something new.
Once we have that claim, and we say, okay, when you start today, I claim something today. I claim I'm going to take my wife out tonight. Start there, and I've surprised her. I haven't done it in months. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to give her some. I've never surprised my wife in weeks, months, maybe years. Here, I claim that. So presence, claim, stand for something, act, right? Be for something. Even if I'm going to find my purpose, that's it. I'm done. I'm done of just floundering. I'm going to go out into the world. I'm going to read books. I'm going to meet teachers. I'm going to get guidance. I'm going to come to learn. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to seek the understanding, to know what my direction is, to hone myself. That's claim. And it's honorable. It's noble. And don't let anyone take you off your claim in life. It's our heroic journey. Okay? So presence, claim, and the last part of the masculine triad or power pack is penetration. Entering the world, going from the void and bringing your legacy, your actions into the world. Subtly, etherically, it's feeling as if you are already at the end of your goal. You have penetrated your goal. You're not seeking the goal. You are living as if the goal is already here. You're not trying to get in someone's pants or your wife's pants or someone's pants. You're not pushing in that type of gregarious first stage energy. It's like I'm already in her.
Mm-hmm. As a life
it's the
path,
penetration.
As a life path and process that is beyond the 5K, 10K race, is already at the unlimited expression.
Yes.
Something special in that unlimited process when both are working on it, such as you and your wife and those that have attained the spiritual maturity that it takes to maintain that relationship. Cyclical shedding of the old self is much a part of the first and the second. At these more advanced stages, it's the inner things, at the most finite layers, that advanced relationships want to resolve, which then opens up new forms of specialized communication between the two, whether it's the telepathy post-sexual that lasts for many weeks, months, or years, which has been recorded throughout many religious histories, that is what happens when you have somebody that has gone through these healing processes. They become self-illuminated masters of each other.
Yes.
In divine co-creation, with an expression that brings sacred energy, teaching to others, like the whirling dervish energy, going forward and forward and forward. Each step you take, you're amplifying a millionfold your expression, your ability to transform light around you.
This is the beauty of this type of capacity that we have right now within us, not in the future. We just have to envision, visualize, bring it forth, have that stirring in our soul that we wish to live that way. And then the universe must respond, because it's responding to the highest, the deepest of your yearnings.
Yeah. And it's becoming
that brings me to
a signature frequency match for that experience.
Yes. That brings me to what's the reciprocal of presence, claim, and penetration of the masculine side, the freedom side? Well, the reciprocal is flow, or the feminine side, which my wife calls the hot ice potion, all right? And that's ISE. And that stands for invitation. This is the feminine side. Invitation with your eyes, your heart, your body, your way of being. Invitation, allurement, enticement,
and
invitation.
And in traditional Chinese therapy, there are points in the body that are called wellspring points, which are exactly what you are describing. But it is an actual meridian with an actual point with a purpose to create that.
Exactly. Right? It's the invitational disposition of being. It's saying, beloved, I'm open. Now, what's beautiful is they work together. So invitation is the reciprocal of presence, PCP, presence, claim, penetration. The first part of that, so if you take a presence, right, its polarity is invitation. If you're not being inviting and you're like pushing people away, why would they want to be present with you?
Right.
They're going to be, I'm going to bring my presence to someone. But if you're inviting by your please come have a seat. Here's a glass of water, beloved. You know, a simple touch, a gaze, a feeling of not always demanding, but inviting them into your home, into your heart, into your soul. The feeling of inviting them in closer, inviting them out of the doingness of life and into the shelter of the soul, into the replenishment of the heart. This is like sacred invitation. It can go all the way into the allurement, into the bedroom, all the way into the ecstasy through tantric sex. That allurement goes deeper and deeper, that invitation. And that evokes deeper presence. When when my wife is inviting me, I'm present. I'm not looking anywhere else. If I am, I'm stupid.
Exactly.
Then by the joy in me, I want to give her my presence. So they uplift. Then that's how you create passion. You uplift those poles on each other. So if one's a little sluggish, doesn't matter. The other one, kick it in. Bring more presence, bring more invitation.
Energy mechanics on each other. You need a little tune up here, got to tighten that down a little bit.
Exactly. So if I'm noticing my wife is not invitational because she's stressed out, she's tired from work, she's this and this, right? I'll bring more presence. Not ask for more presence. I'll bring more, because that's what she needs to uplift her invitation. And now, claim has a reciprocal too. So this claim of, you are mine, we're going this way, you know, I stand for this. The reciprocal of that is surrender.
And in surrender, much more stuff happens.
Right? Surrender is, yes, take me as you wish. Do with me as you wish. It's like sexy, beautiful, romantic lovers talk. Obviously, there should be trust here, right? But it's like take me if you dare, Tiger, and it's like you're mine, beloved. It's that energy of surrender, but from from a place of strength, not from a place of surrender. I've lost, but I'm surrendering my direction for you to have enjoyment with my direction. Now, that can switch at any moment, right? Like lovers play, and the way we coach our, lovers to play is don't just one of you be the one who's in claim and the other one be the one who's in surrender. Change it up. One try it the other. One of you may be really stuck in a role of you're only the petite, genteel, surrendered one. And one may be the only one who's the commanding or the one who takes charge or the one who initiates. Well, shake it up, shake it up. If you haven't initiated in a while, then initiate 3 times a day for the next week. Surprise your lover in ways that they couldn't even imagine, even if you don't even feel it's natural. It shouldn't be natural.
Yeah. Engaging the genius for that exact process.
Exactly. This is a cultivation. You don't do it when you feel like it. It's like playing guitar. You're learning it, but when you first start, it hurts. It hurts to play. It doesn't, when I'm doing martial arts, it doesn't always feel good, but the result is amazing. So in the same way, when sometimes offer more claim to your lover, you're mine. Don't be pensive and sit there when she comes home from work. And she sits there, how you doing, honey? How's your day? So maybe put your arm around her, look her deep in the eyes, smack her with a big kiss, lips to lips. Not smack her that way. I mean, everyone get clear on that. It's love from your lips to lips, and let her know how important she is to you. And then go back to your thing, like what happened to him? What happened to her?
Yeah.
So these are invitations, surrender, and then the reciprocal. Oh, by the way, when you surrender more, the claim comes up over there.
Yeah. Gifts of love without strings attached.
Yes, I love that.
When you get into that essence of a gift of love without a string attached, I mean, you have no motive behind it and you're doing it for love's sake.
So presence, claim, penetration are the gifts of love, the masculine gifts of love. And invitation, surrender. And the last one, the reciprocal, there's of presence, claim, penetration. So we've got penetration. The reciprocal of that is expression. So the feminine part is expression, invitation, surrender, and expression. The biggest gift of love you can give your lover is the fullness of your undressed expression. Like, I love you. Or you pissed me off, but you stay heart connected. You don't injure your partner by the removal of your love.
Go back into the first stages.
Maintain love.
You don't go back into the first stages. You don't go back into those moments where you can pull those strings of love. When you've reached the spiritual maturity to know that when you turn it on, it's on. And turning it off means you are playing with a string. And you cannot play that game with a beloved. That's a challenge of reaching spiritual maturity, to have relationships that are spiritually mature.
Exactly.
Now, creating the bonded relationships, that's where so many people, they look for coaching, literally, because where old patterns, their old imprints, keep coming up over and over again.
We can't see them because this language of love, presence, claim, penetration, invitation, surrender, expression, this language of love, I believe it's already within us, but we've got many imprints laid over us which distort that, the artful play of those in a gamification way, in a way that's playful and erotic and sensual and intellectual, rather than manipulative, right, or
the Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones that both men and women are trying to play. I'm on the throne, service me. Okay, no, you're on the throne, I'll service you. And it's not that way.
Exactly. when the feminine expresses, because many times the feminine is taught to suppress their expression, and they've had to, or to even survive through the years.
Just 70 years ago, they couldn't vote.
Now it's the time where the world sorely needs your voice of the feminine. All of us, ladies, men, we need the feminine voice to be expressed. It's not that we need to disengage or crush or make wrong of the masculine, because through this discussion, we realize it's the first stage masculine and the first stage feminine which have the destructive qualities, not inherent masculine or inherent feminine. It's just the first stage, the egoic, selfing, because it doesn't know any other way. That energy of it, yes, is harmful. And the second stage, we neutralize. And in the third stage, we take those same energies, we flower them, we connect them, our third eye, our throat, our heart, all of our chakras, we connect, we invigorate. We recognize that we are a divine beings and that we are awakening these bodies of being within each one of us, these celestial light bodies, these remembrances of the expansion of our inherent freedom. When we can do that with glimpse in our lovemaking day after day, and through little notes and little love notes and little ways to evoke more presence, evoke a little bit more claim, evoke a little bit more penetration. And then when you see your partner doing that, then give them the reciprocal of more invitation, more surrender, more expression of your heart, your joy. When you're lovemaking, go a little wilder in your lovemaking sound. Let them know. A lot of masculine people don't know that the difference between as good or bad. They like they're scared to ask. And so, but if you express joy, then we love it. And if you express dissatisfaction, then rather than tell us an hour, 2, 3, 5 hours later when we feel like we can't even do anything about it, if you express in the moment with connection in your heart from your feminine, how the voice of your emotions through sound, not necessarily through words, it could be through tears, it could be through laughter, it could be through a jiggle, it could be through dancing with the song. It's expression bodily, mentally, emotionally, which is your deepest gift, and we need it from you, especially you ladies now, especially those of you with feminine essence beings who are more feminine essence, then this is the time where your feminine light is the solve, is the nurturance of reality right now. So bring it on.
They are the fabric weavers of light here, transmuting lower density light into higher density light, because they have a womb this lifetime. And they do it internally, where men are the leading of that internal light. We are always light expressing and transmuting beings, but it's how we take the different qualities of light and we color our experience. What you were talking before about having these little things that help, you are coloring the experience. So when a life process is ended and there's a life review, there are all these free gift of energies of love there that attract the life path partner life review. You know, that's a bigger part of consciousness, but when people are together for a long time, they eventually get to that next question of what is next in our expression.
Exactly. This is something that we always need to ask ourselves. What are we here for together? What are we here for together that's greater than what we could be here for as individuals? And to be in that heart inquiry, going on vacations, asking that of each other. What are we here for? What is exciting in both of us? And what excites us all? And sometimes it's edgy. And sometimes you got to go and lean into the edge. And if you're evolving as a couple, as a relationship, then lean into the edge. Because it's at the edge where there's a lot of juice. And that's where your faith, your growth in each other, your trust, and then offer each other more trust when you're at the edges. Give each other more space. There's I can feel the hearts here who are single, because what we're talking about is very powerful. But I want to bring those of you who are single, who yearn to have a partner in your life, if I may share how they can draw in, and perhaps we can take them when you're ready through an experience. But I think what would be very good is those of you who are single, first of all, stop calling yourself single and start calling yourself available. Rescript your own inner language pattern and tell the universe and your beingness pattern and say, I am here to be claimed, to surrender with another. I am here to have that passionate polarity, that enlightenment in relationship, that evolutionary awakened intimacy. I am here for that. I don't only want that, I'm here for it. I claim that.
That is the male's sovereign action to do and the responsibility to follow through. Presence, claim, process, action, activating all of the potentials that says, I am a creator and manifester in my reality. To bring the fullness of all your belief behind it, to remove the lazy factors, to be repetition with illumination so you know and can refine your form of discernment when seeing the feminine light. Because there are many lights that attract us, the size, the shapes, the energy that's behind it. But it's still not just a mammalian or reptilian attraction there. It is ultimately the depth of character and the relationship that is created in potential, then activating potential. Because so many relationships, one sees the potential going one way and the other sees it another, and maybe one or two of their goals are in alignment.
Exactly. It's like saying that I'm here for an evolutionary relationship, and that you know that that's the true power, and that you're looking for an evolutionary relationship, one that you co-evolve with. Because if you're only looking, you may say that, but in any moment you may feel, oh, I'll just take anyone. Right. No, raise your standards.
I'm not here to explore the plateau I've already been on. I'm here to go over the next mountain and the next one and the next one. And we may explore a plateau or two up there, but we're not exploring this plateau anymore.
I love that. I love that. Those of you who are single, you've all probably heard of the idea of making a list of the attributes that you would love to see in a prospective partner. So whatever that is, handsome, beautiful, intelligent, witty, humorous, make a list of those top 10. That's very valid, and see them, visualize them. That's beautiful. But I'm going to give you a Warrior Sage challenge. This is more the edgy part. And that's, once you've seen, you made a list, now write down, what would that person want?
Be empathetic to that future. Engage that precognitive empathy that you can have to that partner who's there if you've already bonded with them in the future.
What type of partner would they want with this person? So now you have this composite reality of the attributes. Feel into what's it like to live in their life? What's it like to live in their being? What's it like to live in their history? This person who has the attributes. And then you offer your devotion and prayer to them daily. You could put on a musical song in the morning as part of your meditation and do a dance for your beloved to be that's present.
Manifesting and creating.
Exactly. Or you could do some type of movement and dance or meditation or some honoring ritual where you make a list of the person that you wish to attract. But then next to that, you write down, so if you say, I want a person who's very humorous, right? Who's a great comic, can make me laugh. Then what does that person love to have? What's the reciprocal of that? The reciprocal is someone who loves comedy and likes to laugh.
An illuminated comic.
Right? Because you imagine they're putting out this humor and you're just like looking very sour-faced. Yeah. That's not going to create polarity and passion. It's going to create repulsion and neutrality and eventually erode the relationship. So you need to create what is the passionate polarity, not the antagonistic polarity to the qualities. Okay, I want someone, give me a quality. What's a quality that someone would love to have in a partner?
Thought leader.
Okay, so a thought leader. So what would the reciprocal be? What would be the passionate someone who enjoys
Co-creative.
listening, someone
Somebody who
who wants
specializes
to.
in co-creation.
There you go.
Thought leader,
So you make
co-creation.
a list of all of
Yeah.
that. You make a list of what would that person want in. So if it's humor, you make a list of that with it, and then you live into that. You express the parts of you that are like that without holding back, and you just watch how fast you're going to get prospectives knocking at your door.
I do
right
this.
in front of you.
I do this, and I like to do it as a word salad where I start writing on the paper in circles. So I actually, when I'm going back to it, I have to go to unravel what I'm saying. And it's not hard to do it. Everyone's done it as a kid, write in circles, just keep turning the paper. Until you've created your spiraling, expanding point of view that says, I can think outside of the linear box here.
Exactly.
So many people don't give themselves that gift.
This whole attraction factor is a subtle energetic field where we're actually dialing certain frequencies in our being of presence, claim, penetration, invitation, surrender, and expression to be able to be the center of the infinite void of reality, which then draws in a corresponding wavelength reality.
That's the dynamic equation.
Corresponding wavelength reality that we walk into has the reciprocal in the form that's desirable. Or if you're unconscious about this and you go back to sleep and you say, I'm happy with my reactivity, I'm okay with all of that stuff, then you're going to get the reciprocal of that. You'll get someone who's given up in relationships, someone who doesn't have the speed or the fortitude to commit or to go past the second or third date without, your flatness will be met by flatness. Your passion will be met by passion.
And in passionate relationships, we are not embers of light. We are roaring fires. Each tending the fire, turning over the metaphorical coals, adding the next log on there, making sure the site is clean and prepared for each other's sacred energies. Ritual spiritual hygiene for adult, mature relationships. Powerful words that have so much subtle I amness behind them because we yearn for so much more from that. And the yearning itself is a spiritual perspective. Every lifetime you've ever been, and there's countless numbers of them, you've done that exact process, or more advanced, or some mystery school in 3000 BC, or this group over there did it this way. Doesn't matter. It's still the same light mechanic of empathizing the future mate is a signature frequency match of that moment of light frequency in which it will be remembered long into the ancient future of the next being. We look for that when we see new people. Have I known that energy? We've all suddenly said that to ourselves before. Everyone commonly shares that little micro-mystical experience. And when you engage that micro-mystical experience in the people that you meet, you can find great wonders in both the masculine and the feminine that are out there that are ever in charge and polarity and opposition of each other.
Shall we dive into an experience of this?
Yes, let's really give them something that they can go away with.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to ask everyone to really sort of cut loose here. All right, if you need to be private, go ahead and be private. If you want to bring your partner and lover and they're open to this type of understanding and play, then by all means, bring them into this space and bring them into this space regardless. So those of you who do have a partner right now, just close your eyes and call your partner's soul and essence and their frequency, their beingness into this space. And from your heart to their heart, as a tantric master, as a divine being with choice, as a warrior sage, as a galactic traveler, as a galactic lover, give them your highest honoring to initiate this temple practice of Tantra. Just imagine you're bowing to them. Do this. And let your hands come to a relaxation. And now feel which one feels more appropriate for you. If you would like to be more in the feminine disposition, then imagine you are in your highest lovemaking attire of some ancient exotic time with as much mystical flair as you'd like to bring, and dress in your highest feminine lovemaking attire. Lovemaking of the gods, of the goddesses. And see your lover there sitting, cross-legged, their spine open, and them in their highest lovemaking posture and stance and presence. And then sit on top of them in Yab-yum. The Tibetans call Yab-yum the sexual tantric posture or asana of where the woman is sitting on top of the man, his penis entering her vagina, vajra inside her yoni, which is the way they describe it as energetic fields. He has her arms embraced around her, chest to chest, and they are gazing either into each other's eyes, deeply as infinite souls, or they're embracing each other. If you wish to be in the masculine role, then imagine and feel yourself sitting with your legs crossed and your divine lover sitting on top of you. And you are entering them and you're embracing them fully. And both lovers now give each other an honoring and soften the front surface of your body and start breathing deeper. And soften the whole front surface of your body so the distinction between where your body ends and where their body starts is starting to become more fuzzy, softer, less demarked, spacious. And start breathing your lover deeper than you could breathe yourself. What's it like to be in their body? To have them sitting on you or you sitting on them? Whatever disposition you're going to take. Let's start with the feminine. Those of you who are the feminine, you're sitting on your divine lover. You're in ecstasy and presence. The whole front surface of your body is soft and open. Your belly is relaxed. Draw in the power of invitation. Give your lover the look of inviting, alluring eyes, exotic eyes, timeless, mysterious, illuminated eyes. Give them the invitation of your breasts and your belly. Give them the invitation of your womb and your yoni and your juiciness, your wetness, your beingness. Give them the invitation of your desire to be entered by deep presence. Show them with your body, with your invitation, eyes, heart, and genitals, that you wish, you yearn, you enjoy their presence. If your body starts to undulate, let it. This does not have to be a still meditation for the feminine. It can be moving and allowing your spine to open, your hands to open, however they move. Invitation. Now surrender, feminine beings. Feel that you wish to be guided. Not because you're weak, but because playfully. I'll let you play lead right now, lover. Take me wherever you can. Take me deeper. Have that feeling, that disposition, that coyful, erotic depth of ancientness, of the ancient goddess that says, take me deeper if you dare. And do that with your yoni as well. And feel that you're evoking the God masculine within them. You're displaying and irradiating and showering them now with the expression of you as a goddess, nothing less Not even an iota of you is broken. You're unweaving the spell of your humanness and you're showing them the grandeur of the goddess. Let them see it. Be allowed to be worshipped. Allow yourself to be worshipped. You are that deserving. And play with this energy, with your body, your breath, with music in your heart. Evoke invitation, surrender, and expression, moment to moment. May your expression make sounds of expression only, no words. Sounds of pleasure, depth, beauty, giggles, tickles, however it flows through you. Now, those of you in the masculine disposition, you have an amazing, fiery, enlightened, awakened, juicy, and goddess sitting on you. Respond with deeper presence. Fill the whole room with who you are. See through her, not just her body. Enjoy, relish with your eyes, your hands, your touch, your taste, your fleshiness. Enjoy her flesh, but look deeper than that. One day she's going to get older and older. She'll be less sexing. One day she may not be able to sex at all. Love that part in her too. Love the part that will be there when her body falls away. Let your presence be timeless, beyond this physical mortal body, feeling that I love you no matter what. Expansive presence, infinite presence. And now claim her as yours. Bring her body closer to you in your visualization, in your breath, in your being. Feel the claim of who you are. You're mine. We are Shiva, Shakti. We are infinite consciousness and infinite light. And together we birth realities. We birth children. We birth creativity. We birth this moment. Claim it. Goddess says you can wiggle a little. You can push away. You can see, test him. Will he buckle underneath your test, or will he just stay calm and open and fun and spacious and claim you deeper with your feminine testing of his depth and resolve? And now masculine people, give her penetration. Feel deep into her eyes, into the infinity that is living her. From your heart center, let it be like a phallus, penis, a vajra, coming out through your heart, entering her heart, invading, pressing, feeling, loving her heart. And then your vajra, your penis, have it enter her vagina, her yoni, but all the way up as a life force, as a lightsaber, entering her spine, moving up her spine, and breathe her. And feel that one day this form of hers will die, pass, change, shift. Her form is changing in every moment, but you are steady in your presence, your claim, your penetration. And smile the infinite smile of one who's got nothing to win, nothing to lose. You already are the freedom of existence. Goddesses, play your energy of invitation wilder. Surrender even more outside of your comfort zone. More playful, more giggles. Make your sound of expression even more wilder, more animal-like. Go into realms you've never expressed before. And feel this union of Yab Yum. And breathe now both together for the next minute. Your lover with you, whether you're in the masculine or feminine seat. And offer now your joyous devotion to their enlightenment. Their evolution, their happiness, their peace. And feel them offering that back to you and receive it in with joy and gratitude from existence itself. Existence just as grateful. Your lover, past, present, future, just as grateful for your existence as you are for theirs. Relish in that. And breathe now wider than you've ever breathed. Breathe each other wider than you've ever breathed. And breathe now the whole space around you. Let your heart open now infinitely in all directions. Feel all the people in the state, in the town, in the city, wherever, all around you, the province, the country, your whole country. Breathe in and let the love of your heart embrace and expand and include all of them. Every man, woman, child, every creature. And now breathe in this whole globe in the center of your whole being. And expand now the solar system, galaxy, universe, cosmos, multiverse, edgeless. Any words of gratitude, let it be said for the sake of all beings. And soon you'll open your eyes again, but when you do, you'll remember there's an aspect of you which is constantly ever emanating presence, claim, and penetration, invitation, surrender, and expression. And that these arts of love, arts of passion, are already within your divine dynamic. Know that to be so. Oh.
Oh, tense.
Tense.
When you're working with this kind of higher and higher density energies, so much of what you're describing with the yoni and how we relate to the passionate lover, there is the feminine spirit that is this world. And in a metaphorical way, we can have a similar co-creative relationship, obviously with a different process of penetration, a different process of presence with it. And that is where a lot of people feel so much love for the planet. The same thing can be repeated with a tree or another sentient thing that is out there. We must just see it no longer as a thing, but a sentient being that has many other practices of sensuality, sexuality, and enlightenment to the greater process of consciousness in itself. And let's break there.
We are the love.
Yeah.
We are the love that we've always been seeking. And we're the freedom that we've always been seeking. And in this form of ecstatic awakened intimacy, it's not here to just get, it's here as the gift that must be given.
And when we start giving that gift in mass to all that are ready to receive that gift of love without strings attached, without covert motives behind it, without a strategy of this is the only way of being, okay? We allow unlimited choice, and suddenly there comes a moment where everyone is true, and we all realize it. And in all truthness, we get oneness. We're all sharing that everything is true. All forms of experience are true for that moment until we go up that next scale of awareness. Just in the stages of relationships, we must see ourselves at the different scales that we work at. There are those that desire the spiritually mature relationship, but are unable to go past the first or second stage because they will not deal with themselves. They will not truly give the self-healing and nurturing time to cleanse themselves on a regular basis before their mate comes home, or has not practiced it regularly enough so that their intentions that they're putting forward have meaning and weight behind it. We cannot be a meek voice in the infinite universe. We must claim that presence now and then emanate it through all frequencies of your existence so that you hear your own echoes as the teacher of the self. Poe? All right, let's take a break.